Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maggie. If this is your first time stopping by, I hope you decide to like and subscribe and click that notification bell. Come back and check out some of the other content I have on my channel. Well, today is September the 17th and it is Constitution Day. On this day in the year 1787, all 12 state delegates approved the Constitution. Of the 42 delegates present, 39 sign it, and the convention formally adjourns. One of the main reasons there were, out of the 42 delegates, only 39 signed it, and it passed, thank God. The three that did not sign it because there was not a Bill of Rights in place at that time. So it wasn't because they disagreed with the Constitution. They were concerned about the citizens being taken advantage of. And of course, the Bill of Rights was created later on. That was always part of the plan, but they had to do it piece by piece. You know, our founding fathers were pretty amazing in the sense all of them were godly men, because they made a covenant with our God when they formed this nation. I'm a part of the organization called the Daughters of the American Revolution, which means I have traceable documentation that connects me to someone who either fought in or supported with their worldly goods the Revolutionary War against Great Britain when we broke away. I'm very proud of that heritage. Right now, I have one confirmed patriot. I have multiple others that we're investigating, and I love the stringent requirements to prove that lineage. But it makes me feel very proud that that is part of my blood. Their blood is in me. Their DNA is in my veins. And I have multiple grandfathers. I don't know about any grandmothers. We do have female patriots, and we celebrate when we find them, because for a long time, the female patriots weren't recognized. Now, our Constitution is an amazing piece of work. For those who don't, I'm just going to skim here quickly. I have a copy of the Constitution. We all know the preamble from the Schoolhouse Rock days. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. You guys remember Schoolhouse Rock? Those in my generation do. We the people, you know that one. In order to form a more perfect union. Yeah. Okay. Article 1, Section 1. Grants Congress. It establishes the fact that there will be a Senate and a House of Representatives. Okay, that form of the government. The House of Representatives will be, Section 2 spells out what the House of Representatives will be composed of, how many from each state, so that there's equal representation. And the age requirements, you have to be at least 25 years old. Okay. All right. Section 3 talks about the Senate and the requirements for the Senate. And this is the very basis and foundation for this nation, is how each office and the spelling out of the specifics of what's required to serve, how long you'll serve, etc., etc. 2 senators from each state. Okay. That establishes that. The congressmen are based on the size of the state. The larger the state, the more congressmen they have, because they are representing a larger population of people. And then there's a section here. There's an asterisk here that each state chosen by the legislature for 6 years, and each senator shall have 1 vote. Okay, it says how many votes they have. And there's an asterisk indicating that a 17th Amendment changed sections, a portion of Section 3. Okay, and then it goes on to the requirements of the senators. Section 4, the times, places, and manner of holding elections for senators and representatives. shall be prescribed in each state by the legislature, but the Congress may at any time by law make or alter such regulations except as to the place of choosing senators. Okay, so now they're going into the specifics of how the elections will be held. Section 5, each house shall be the judge of the elections, returns, and qualifications of its own members. We need to know these things because our Constitution, the people are pushing the limits on it all the time. And then it goes on to the specifics. I mean, each of these is really wrong. I'm trying to give you, but this is the foundation for our nation and our government. Section 6, the senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services to be ascertained by law and paid out of the Treasury of the United States. They shall in all cases except treason, felony, and breach of the peace be privileged from arrest during their attendance at the session of their respective houses and in going to and returning from the same. Okay, so this is protecting them from arrest except for the specifics of what it is. And this is important because you have people are people. People all fall short of God's glory. And you're going to have people who are jealous, who lie, who think things differently. We all know how it goes. Even back then, there were people who, Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton, they had a feud, and Aaron Burr wound up killing Alexander Hamilton in I believe I'm saying that correctly, in a duel. And it destroyed his career because they disagreed so vehemently. No, it wasn't Hamilton. It was one of our presidents. Oh, see, look at me. I'm ashamed of myself. I need to have those facts. But Aaron Burr did kill someone in a duel because of their disagreements politically. Isn't that terrible? Section 7, all bills for raising revenue shall originate in the House of Representatives, but the Senate may propose or concur with amendments as on other bills. So that's, again, spelling out things for something with regards to raising revenue, money. Okay. Section 8, the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. So this is involving our taxes and when they have to raise money to pay debts, okay? And then they go into the specifics to establish post offices, to provide for the punishment of counterfeiting the securities in current coin, okay, to define and punish piracies and felonies, to declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal. I mean, this goes into all the specifics, to raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money to that use shall be for a longer term than 2 years, to provide and maintain a navy. That's where I served. I was in the Navy. But this spells all that out in Section 8. Section 9, the migration or importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit, shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year. So that's about immigration. Okay. Article 2, and I mean, this is no money shall be drawn from the Treasury, but in consequence, I mean, you have to read through all, it's amazing. It's important for us to know these things so that when it's being violated, we're aware. You can't do that because we, the people, are the ones in charge. The leaders we elect are there to serve us. We are not there to serve them. So we need to know what this says. It is an amazing document. Article 2. The executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States. Section 1, that talks about the presidency and everything else. Each state shall appoint in such manner as, okay, I'm not going to get into the language, but Section 1 has to do with the presidency and talks about the elections of that. It talks about the specifications of the qualifications of the presidency. The president shall be the commander-in-chief of the Army and Navy of the United States and of the militia of the several states when called into the actual service. So commander-in-chief is one of his responsibilities for Section 2. Section 3 Okay, Section 3 talks about his requirement to provide a State of the Union address. Okay, that's a small one there. Section 4, the President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, and other high crimes and misdemeanors. That allows us to take anyone out of office who isn't doing right. We've had a lot of things thrown about that have been proven to be false, and I wish there were protections for people in office who their political opponents are trying to remove with false accusations, because that's not right either, and it mucks up the system and drags on and drags on. And when they are exonerated because there was no such thing that they claimed, the exoneration is hushed up, and we all know, we've seen this. Okay. Article 3, Section 1. This has to do with the Supreme Court, the judicial. And one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts of the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish the judges, both of the Supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall at stated times receive for their services a compensation. Section 2 has to do with their powers. They extend to all cases of law and equity arising under the Constitution. Okay. Section 3, the trial of crime. Section 2 still goes on with the trial of crimes and spells out that part of the Supreme Court. Section 3, treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on the testimony of 2 witnesses to the same overt act or on confession in open court. The Congress shall have power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainer of treason shall work corruption of blood or forfeiture except during the life of the person attained. And there was something that was changed by the 11th Amendment. And between the state of citizens thereof and foreign state citizens or subjects. Okay, it's something in Section 2. Article 4. Full faith and credit shall be given to each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. And then it says, Section 2, the citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. And then, let's see, privileges and immunities, Section 3, new states may be admitted by the Congress into this union. So this is the admission of states. But no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state be formed by the junction of 2 or more states or parts of the states. So this is about the forming of new states and where the limits are to that. Okay. Section 4, the United States shall guarantee to every state in the Union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or of the executive. Okay, so that basically says each individual state can depend on the protections of the federal government for every state. Okay, so it says that the president will, send the troops or whatever it is for the protection of those states. All right, against domestic violence, it says in there. Article 5, that has to do proposing amendments to the Constitution and the limits and what that involves there. 6, debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. And then Article 7, the ratification of the conventions of 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution between the states, so ratifying the same. Okay, so that 7 had to do with the ratification of the Constitution. And then they go into the specifics of the signers of the Constitution. This is so great. But anyway, we need to know, you can order a copy of the Constitution and read it and know it, because we need to be aware of these founding documents that limit our government We, the people, are the ones who are in charge because we're the ones who vote. And if there's any corruption that takes place to alter that and take away our rights as we, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, you see what I'm saying? We have to be aware and know what it says so that we recognize when there's a violation of something. So I'm guilty, just like anybody else, of not reading that document as faithfully as I should and knowing specifically what it says. But Article 1 has to do with the forming of Congress and the Senate and what their responsibilities are and what their limitations are. Article 2 is with the presidency and all the responsibilities, requirements, and everything the president has to fulfill. And Article 3 has to do with the Supreme Court. So you have all three branches of the government that are spelled out in the Constitution. It is amazing. It's amazing. And then afterwards came the Bill of Rights for the individual citizens, which we can get into that a little bit later. But happy Constitution Day, everybody. Bye until next time.